KBTC, a viewer-supported community service of Bates Technical College.
From KBTC Public Television Studios in Tacoma, Washington. Welcome to the Steve on the Street podcast, a closer look behind the headlines as public policy and current affairs impact the real lives of real people.
Hello, and welcome to the Steve on the Street podcast, produced by KBTC Public Television and its public affairs program, Northwest Now. I'm your host, reporter and photojournalist Steve Kickens. Today's podcast talks about the changing role of Washington's community and technical colleges. Back in the 2000s, a pilot project was launched by the Washington State Board for Community and Technical Colleges to offer bachelor's degrees to meet industry demand for a skilled workforce. That pilot project switched to regular status in 2010, and now dozens of degree programs are offered across the state. One of the latest of those programs is a Bachelor of Applied Science in Public Safety Administration, and it kicks off winter quarter 2025 at Bates Technical College in Tacoma. Bates Tech calls the degree program groundbreaking, the only of its kind in Washington State, and it builds on the foundations of the college's fire science and cybersecurity programs. But we wanted to hear from students who are currently enrolled in programs that offer bachelor's degrees in our state's community and technical colleges. That's where we met Jay. He's studying environmental science at Lakewood's Clover Park Technical College. Take a listen to Northwest Now's coverage next on the podcast.
Blackberries fight back.
Derek Faust and volunteers spent a cold November Saturday playing in the dirt,
Yeah, they turned out nicely.
removing invasive plants.
It's an outdoor learning lab.
Across the street from Clover Park Technical College sits more than 100 acres of green space called the Natural Resources Laboratory and Research Park at Flat Creek. This is where students get hands-on training.
Learn about habitat restoration. They learn how to identify plants.
Alternate.
Here, students take what they learn in the classroom and apply those skills directly in the field.
We are very, very fortunate that there was the foresight by previous college administrations to know the value of this property.
The community here at Clover Park let me pursue something that I otherwise just wouldn't have access to.
Jay Hart first came to Clover Park seeking an environmental sciences and technology associate's degree, but his education pathway changed when last year Clover Park began offering a Bachelor of Applied Science and Environmental Sciences degree. Hart says earning a bachelor's at Clover Park includes a learning environment like nowhere else.
Because of the smaller class sizes, we got the attention from the professors, but we also got to support each other as students going through the same program. I don't know if I would have gotten that at a larger university.
It's not just environmental sciences. Clover Park offers multiple bachelor's degrees from interior design, cybersecurity, computer science, and more, all designed to move graduates into higher-paying roles or new positions.
Our bachelor's programs are actually designed for working adults.
What began in 2005 as a pilot project, lawmakers and educators expanded CCB programs statewide in 2010. Now, the Community College Baccalaureate Association reports students can choose a bachelor's from nearly 150 programs offered from campuses across Washington. And according to a brief from think tank New America, CCB program graduates in Washington are more diverse than those graduating from similar programs at four-year institutions, illustrating CCB's attempt to serve minority populations.
I had established community here.
For Hart, earning a bachelor's degree at Clover Park means staying close to mentors and hopefully applying his skills to serve his own community after graduation.
It's giving us options and it's forming connections with where you start. I don't need to go to a bigger university to start forming those connections because I have founded them here.
In Pierce County, Steve Kickens, Northwest Now. You know, talking with Jay, I just imagine his passion for learning and caring for our environment will translate into a meaningful career when he graduates later with his degree. So, next on the podcast, listen to an extended interview with one of the instructors at Clover Park Environmental Science Program, Derek Faust. You're going to hear how he shares how he has seen the industry demand for a bachelor's degree grow, and how he thinks Clover Park Tech offers unique facilities to educate their students for real-world employment opportunities in the field.
Today we are hosting a volunteer habitat stewardship event on our outdoor lab property. The long name is the Natural Resources Laboratory and Research Park at Flet Creek. We call it the Flet property. And I saw that you were looking at some of our interpretive signs, and one of them, the one over there, is about the history of the property. So this historically, at least with a little over 100 years ago, was the Flet Dairy.
Got it, yeah.
So actually a lot of what we see,
all the kind of rubble and material that's probably left over.
Yeah, there's probably some of that from the dairy. When I was in school, if we wanted to go and do something like this, yeah, we were driving at least 15-20 minutes, if not more, to find a location to do stuff like this. It's a 5-minute walk from my classroom to this outdoor lab, and we can do so much over here, and the students can learn so much. And we are very, very fortunate that there was the foresight by previous college administrations to know the value of this property and the potential it had for educating environmental science students. So our students do habitat restoration work as part of our classes. So that involves removing the invasive plant species like Himalayan blackberry, Scotch broom, and others, and then we try to either seed or plant trees, native trees, and help the ecosystem out, because the wildlife is adapted to living with the native plants, not the invasive plants.
Talk to me about what this is like, being part of this first, what's it describe, the first of its kind baccalaureate program offered in the state at a technical or community college. I mean, that's significant.
Yeah, for environmental science. Yeah, it's the first of its kind in the state at the bachelor's level like you said, at a technical or community college. And for me, it's really, it's about the students. That's what drove me, was to help the students so that they could better their lives and better their career. But it is really pleasing to know that we're the first to do it. We're paving the way for the students, but also perhaps for other community and technical colleges to do the same thing and offer a similar program.
It's cheaper. It operates in different and more ubiquitous communities than the university system does, and that goes to addressing a wide array of issues in terms of who has access to higher education. So how do you pick the best benefit out of all of those?
It's really difficult. Yeah, it's really difficult to pick the best benefit, because, as you said, access was a big issue. For students that wanted to do a bachelor's degree, we do have articulation agreements with UW Tacoma and Evergreen State College. However, we found that for students that live in the community, it was UW Tacoma is fairly close, but Evergreen's a little bit farther away, and some folks they don't have a car, or all sorts of challenges. And we also found that a lot of our students liked our classes and liked their instructors here at the college, and were interested in staying here for a bachelor's program. So that was another reason that we started it, because, hey, our students want to stay here, and we have the ability to offer this program, so let's do it.
Right. Say they live, I don't know, like DuPont. I mean, Clover Park is a lot closer than downtown Tacoma. That's certainly a barrier, not for everyone, but for a number of people that likely could fall into this cohort.
Yes.
Who are that's literally a barrier.
Yeah. Well, yeah. With those, without an education or the bachelor's degree that is being required for a lot of jobs, you can't get that job, or it's going to take you a lot longer to reach that career that you want, that job that you want. So, and we have a lot of our students in the program. We have in the bachelor's program and in the associate's program, we have veterans, we have parents, some of them are single parents. We have people that ride the bus to school. They don't have a car. So there are all these challenges that students overcome. And for me, it's really impressive because while I did have, some barriers, and I was a first generation college student, I didn't have any of those barriers. So but what I find is a lot of times those are the students that are most driven because they have something to motivate them. Right. They have that child at home, and they want to do their child proud and themselves proud. They want to be able to one day be able to afford a car so that they can drive. I think one of the reasons that it took so long was that as a technical college, we do focus on knowledge and associated skills that the industry wants for to be successful in a job and a career. And our associates program was designed to do that. So for a long time, our students were able to go and get jobs. But with whatever shift happened, for whatever reason, there's, I think, a variety of reasons that you had this additional barrier of a bachelor's degree. It just took a while for that to impact our students.
Sure.
That were seeking out careers in environmental science.
Yeah, because sometimes, I think you mentioned, some folks in that industry may have met a barrier but had the experience to overcome it.
That's right.
Work in lieu of.
Yeah.
But for the typical college student, that's just not possible.
Yeah.
You think this is just the kind of the beginning? In terms of that kind of four-year degree being offered
at a technical college?
Yes.
Yeah, so we actually have, and I don't know the exact number.
Yeah.
I know it's at least 6 or 7 bachelor's degree programs at the college, and I think there's a couple more programs that are looking at developing them. But part of the approval process is demonstrating a need.
Certainly.
Right?
Certainly.
Because we don't want to do it just because, right?
Right.
So our need was, again, the students needing that degree, and that's usually one of the driving points. Either they need the degree to now enter this career field, or it can also help them with getting a promotion. So our bachelor's programs are actually designed for working adults. So our classes are typically held in the afternoon hours so that if someone is working, they can still make it to class or a lab. And there's also a requirement for a certain percentage of the classes to be offered online to help out those working adults. So it can help them advance in careers as well. When I started here at the college, of course, interviewing and whatnot, one of the things that they ask is, well, what would you like to do, and one of the things I said was a bachelor's degree. And at that time, I didn't know the need was going to be there as much as what it was. Yeah. I have a bachelor's degree, that I earned, and then a master's and PhD, right? Because of the career that I wanted to do. I wanted to teach at a college. But I was seeing job posts where folks with an associate's degree could get jobs. But as time went on, we were seeing more and more. So I didn't see the need immediately, but as I continued to hear from students and also see job announcements that I was reading myself that required the bachelor's degree, that's when I really started to talk to my co-instructor and talk to my dean that I was seeing the need, and can we start the process of starting a bachelor's program, which is a huge undertaking.
Now, not all community colleges across the country offer bachelor's degrees, and believe it or not, there's some controversy involved here. Some worry that bachelor's degree programs stray from community college missions, and that programs that they offer might duplicate education pathways, creating competition for students who might otherwise look into higher education at more traditional four-year institutions. Yet, growing those pathways that are more accessible, maybe more affordable to those who might not otherwise be able to participate at all, seems, of course, a positive benefit, not just for the student, but for the rest of us as a whole. So, thanks to Professor Derek Faust from Clover Park Tech, and thanks to Jay for speaking on the broadcast. And, of course, thank you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for taking the time and effort to join me here on Steve on the Street podcast. I appreciate your support just by listening. Once more, I'm your host, reporter and photojournalist Steve Kiggins from Northwest Now on KBTC Public Television. Until next time, cheers.